All right, people, what is up? We have the new reveal for the PlayStation new VR controller. Not to mention the fact it seems that Xbox has also decided to release a new accessory on their end, in which case Xbox came out with a new wireless headset. And last but certainly not least, we also had the new reveal of the next installment in the Life is Strange series. You definitely don't want to miss this. And naturally, my tag team partner, Des and Dukes, we're going to take it to another level right here on this episode of Platform Gamer Podcast. Man, oh man, holy cow. It has been, I know, a nice little grip.
It's been so long. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's just our schedules are just so jacked up right now.
Yeah. Man, there's been so many changes happening at my store. And we finally got everything kind of laid out. The dust has finally started to settle. There's probably going to be a secondary phase that's going to probably happen later on. But man, we've been moving a lot of stuff around.
Man, I'm now working 4 days for Coca-Cola right now, and then we had a cutter at my supermarket store that I cut at. We had our second shift cutter. He was down for a couple of weeks, so a lot of us were picking up a lot of overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Much to the dismay of corporate, but it was like somebody had to be here. And then there were some times where we couldn't do the overtime, so we had to deal with just not having anybody there on second shift. So I mean, it is what it is. The store is doing fine. You know, our second shift cutter is back. He's good to go. And
nice.
Just like this podcast, we're good to go. Let's get right into this thing. Yeah. Thank you all for joining us here. If you like what we'll be talking about, or if you haven't had a chance to check out any of our past episodes, which we have plenty of past episodes that you can check out, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on that bell for all notifications, and smash that like button. The more you smash that like button, the more we'll be going out to the masses and more people will come and check out this podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Platform Gamer P1, and make sure you go on Facebook.com, which is our Facebook page for Platform Gamer Podcast. Just go in there and type in Platform Gamer Podcast. A lot of our news and information will show up there before it shows up on Twitter or Instagram. So that's the best place to check for any updated news and things like that. And if you like to listen to us in our audio form, we also have it on Podbean and Spotify. I am still looking at doing a third audio spot for anybody that listens to it on a different audio platform. It's going to be a minute, but I'm still planning on having that out there sometime soon. But nevertheless, Damar, let's go ahead and kick off this first story right now.
Yes, indeed. Although I have to admit, I feel a little bit robbed because you didn't say today's date.
Okay. Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't do the date. I got to do the date. It is March 21st, 2021. All right. Yeah, we got that out the way. Anyway, Again, thank you guys for joining us. So, Damar, our first story is about the PlayStation VR 2 controller official reveal. What do we know about it?
All right, so basically, for the most part, they definitely went in a whole different kind of direction as far as for this. Definitely not your typical design scheme when you think of a wireless VR controller. Sometimes you think like the long bar types. Sometimes you may think of something that has kind of like a loop over trigger kind of thing, those kind of things. But this time, Sony decided to really try to revolutionize the whole VR experience, and they want to try to move forward and really take things to that next level. So basically what Sony decided to go with was an orb like design, in which case the controller actually goes around your hand, not limiting your movement, need I mind you. They've done a lot of testing with this. They tested it with a lot of different people with different size hands, this kinds of things. It definitely, they went for more of a ergonomic design as far as for that. So it's definitely going to be a lot of stuff. They used a lot of the features from the DualSense controller and added this into the functionality of the VR controllers. So you're definitely going to get a little bit of that PS5 DualSense feel, but only taken to a whole nother level. So this is definitely something that I know there's kind of mixed feelings as far as the design look, because to me, I was kind of taken back when I first seen it. I was like, wow, that's really out there. That's really out there. But before I jump into the meat and potatoes, as far as we're talking design, specs, the features, Desmond, what was your overall first look opinion when you first saw the look of the new VR controllers?
Well, I got to tell you, my opinion on this was completely reversed from what you thought of it. I thought it was freaking fantastic. I think it has, it does have that orbital look, which is great because it makes it easier for any size hands to fit inside of that. So that's another true test. So it's not like it's good for just small hands. I am very, very thankful they moved away from the motion controllers. My God, those motion controllers were a pain in the rear sometimes with the light ball and trying to track the camera and all that stuff. It's good for what it was. I mean, I can't knock it too much. A lot of people have to take into consideration, this was Sony's first VR headset. They weren't going to go like all in on it right away. They wanted to kind of, in a way, put a decent amount of stuff in it without going too crazy and winding up being like the Vita, where, they kind of went all in on it and then it kind of flopped. So to keep it from happening, that's why we didn't get the HD screen. That's why we got the headset that's a decently good headset, but you could tell that, it still needed a lot of things done to it. Still using the motion controllers from the PlayStation 3. They just ported it over to the 4 for the VR. But like I said, they didn't want to go all in on it. And for what they did, for the amount of stuff that they did it with, they made it work. The VR headset system still sold very well here in North America and in other parts of the world. I mean, I've gamed with people on my VR, with people from mainly like Australia, the UK, Germany, a lot of those places. Those are the majority of the gamers that I've played with in the VR. And then I'm part of the VR community on Facebook, and it's a really, really awesome community. But the orbital hand controllers reminds me, like, as far as the orbital ring part, it kind of reminds me of the Oculus Quest 2. It kind of has that, except it's more like in your hand versus just reading the fingers, and it's definitely better than the HTC Vives controller, which looks like a wand, but it still has that ring in the middle, but it's a wand. So it's got like a long stick at the end. But I mean, either way, I'm excited for it. I think using the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers and things like that really creates that immersion. But I know we're going to go deeper into those here in just a moment. But my initial thoughts, I thought it looked fantastic. I can't wait to see more of what they have in store. If these look this good to me, then I can't wait to see what the headset looks like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In which case, we'll give our opinions on the headset and everything else also at the end of our initial thoughts and information as far as regarding the VR controllers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so as far as for the features, and just as a forthright, all this information we're going to be sharing with you guys is directly off of PlayStation's blog. Okay, so all this is going to be official information and everything else. And if you want to learn extra more detail about it, or if you want to read about it yourselves, we'll definitely make sure to leave a link to that particular blog so you guys can check it out for yourselves. But anyway, basically the main key component as far as when it comes to the VR controller, as far as based on what Sony stated, is they want stronger immersion with adaptive triggers, haptic feedback, and finger touch detection and more. So the features, obviously, the adaptive triggers. Each VR controller, left and right, includes an adaptive trigger button that adds palpable tension when pressed, similar to what's found in the DualSense controller. If you played a PS5 game, you'll be familiar with the tension in the LR and the L2 and the R2 buttons when you press them, such as when you're drawing your bow to fire an arrow. When you take that kind of mechanic and apply it to VR, the experience is amplified to the next level. So just that alone, that's good enough to get me excited, because I know, like, when I play games where there's a bow and arrow, especially I noticed it when I was playing Tomb Raider and such. I definitely felt and noticed the difference when it came to that, and it was really cool too. So I definitely like that feature. So if they took this to a whole nother level, I know the feel and just the sound of everything is definitely going to be just totally on point. The next feature is going to be the haptic feedback. The new controller will have haptic feedback optimized for its form factor, making every sensation in the game world more impactful, textured, and nuanced. When you're traversing through rocky desert or trading blows in melee combat, you'll feel the difference, magnifying the extraordinary visual and audio experience that's so central to VR. So they're definitely taking all those little minor elements to make it as immersive, to make it as realistic feeling, to really make you feel like you're truly a part of the game and actually in the game. So I think this is definitely, I believe we kind of touched on this before in a couple podcasts before, where we were talking about the future of VR as far as for that.
Yeah.
And I think this is definitely going to be something that we're definitely going to start seeing a lot more added technologies as things progress when it comes to VR, because I already knew that, and even Sony said it themselves, even before the PS5 was released and everything else, they did say that they want to make the PS5 much more VR heavy than what they did with the PS4. So that's definitely going to be, they're still staying true to that testament. So that's actually hats off to Sony as far as for that.
Before you go on to the next one, I wanted to point something out real quick. One of the key features is how they got the button layout on the controllers. You'll notice when you see some on one of the pictures, it shows the triangle square on one and the X and circle on the other, or is it one? It's one of the two around, but you'll see the two analog sticks on opposite sides. The buttons are like closer to each other, but they're on each hand, so you can move around and do things with those particular buttons in that order. So I just want to throw that one out there because I know we're getting ready to talk about the tracking and the action buttons. So I just want to throw that in there, but continue.
Yeah, of course. Yes, so tracking. The VR controller is tracked by the new VR headset through a tracking ring across the bottom of the controller. So that's going to be cool. So that means you're looking at smoother connectivity, smoother gameplay. So I'm pretty sure they're going to try to eliminate, as far as, when you usually move and you're doing something really fast, there's usually going to be like that time delay. So hopefully that's going to be minimized to make everything as real time as possible. So I think with the enhancement of that particular kind of feature being added, I think that's definitely going to make the gameplay and overall gaming experience just that much more enjoyable. Also, the action buttons and the analog stick. The left controller contains one analog stick, the triangle and square buttons, and a grip button L1, L1 trigger button and L2, and a create button. The right trigger contains the one analog stick, the cross and the circle buttons, and the grip button for the R1 and the R2 triggers, and the options button. So pretty much you could almost say that they took the layout of a controller and they broke it in half, pretty much for the most part. pretty much
I was close. I knew like the button layout was kind of like I knew they had 2 of those buttons on one and 2 on the other one. It wasn't like 4 like they did with the motion controllers, whereas all 4 buttons on one and all 4 buttons on the other one, and then you're kind of like doing that back and forth.
Yeah, yeah. And I noticed that the fact that with the grip button being the L1 button, so that those are pretty much going to be used for when you're picking up in-game objects when it comes to that. So that's definitely going to be a unique feature to physically have to hold the buttons to pick stuff up. So that definitely does add a little bit more more immersion when it comes to that. So they're definitely finding more and more ways to truly put you physically as much close to in the game as possible. So I really do like that.
That's one of the things that I liked about it too, is the fact that with it being separated like that, it's much easier. And the fact that it's like individual finger tracking, mainly like your thumb and your middle and your index fingers, you know, it'll really like know when those fingers are doing something, like when it's all, because that ring that's around there is the sensor and it's all reading it from the headset, according to what Sony said. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. And so now we're going to move on to the pretty much the design scheme as far as for that. And once again, just to reiterate, all this information is from the PlayStation's blog. So as far as the design, they take on an orb shape that allows you to hold the controller naturally while playing with a high degree of freedom. There are no constraints with how you're moving your hands, providing developers with the abilities to create unique gameplay experiences. This is something that I really, that, like I said before in the beginning, that I was a little bit taken back, but I kind of see the direction how they were going in as far as for that, because obviously you want to do something that's more revolutionary. You want to do something that's really going to make things easier. It looks like the controller has kind of like a matte finish, similar to how the matte finish is on the PS5 console itself. It seems like it would be extremely lightweight also. So that's definitely going to be a plus as far as for that. Now, me personally, I feel like given the way it's designed, it almost the first thing that came to my mind was like boxing gloves. So I'm thinking there's probably going to be like quite a few different types of boxing games or fighting games or whatever that would utilize it, kind of giving you that kind of feel and that kind of look and imagination of holding boxing gloves and punching. So I thought that was pretty cool. Plus, I was also thinking with having that kind of orb-like cage around your hands, because let's face it, when you're in VR, sometimes people tend to forget what part of the area of the house and the room that they're in. And hey, at least your hands are protected. So if you slam it into a wall,
right.
At least you won't have any cuts or anything. So, hey, you got a little bit of protection too. Now, as far as based on the headset, now, from what it was stated, there will be a new PS5 version of the VR headset, but Sony isn't going to be launching that anytime this year. So sadly, we'll have to wait on that. But from what they stated, the company is getting ready to test it with game developers. So that's something that we can definitely say. In my personal opinion, I'm thinking we probably won't see any new information on it until possibly 2023 or early 2024. That's just my personal view as far as for that, because I'm thinking they're going to need about a year's worth of just messing around with it, because there's a lot of mechanics that are going to go into this, especially given the fact that when it comes to VR stuff, obviously VR mechanics for the PS5 is going to be dramatically different from the mechanics of the PS4. So when you look at those kinds of scenarios, how if you port a VR game from PS4, you update it to the PS5 version, certain elements of VR won't be there. So that's another thing too. I'm hoping that you'll be able to either transition back and forth and not lose anything, or they could decide to make it just strictly PS5 only, given the fact that it is the newest hardware accessory for the PlayStation 5 console. So not sure exactly what they're going on as far as for that. Desmond, what do you think your opinion is as far as for terms of the headset?
So with the headset, from what I gathered, it is not going to be completely wireless. It will come with at least one wire, which will probably go from the headset to the system. And I think that's all it's going to be. There won't be a camera, so you won't have to worry about that because everything will be reading it off the headset. So that'll help out tremendously. And I think they're only having to use the one cord to plug into the console for reasons of it reading the games that's on the console and doing what a lot of people like. The thing that I liked about the original VR is that other people can watch you in VR watching it on the TV. So I think that's another reason why it's being done that way. So that way it could be read onto the TV and that it can read the system and the games that's in there through the VR headset. So I think that's a couple of reasons why it only has one. A lot of us were hoping it would go wireless, but not so much. But it'll help too. It'll help keep the cost down. I mean, you're getting one wire. I mean, you're still going to get high definition graphics on that thing. The gameplay is going to be a lot better. I mean, you might be looking at 60 frame per second games in VR. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I think for the most part, I agree with you as far as the launch date, because you're right. I mean, developers and other developing communities are going to get their hands on at least the controllers, I would say very soon, at least within the next couple of months. I would assume, at least within the next 2 to 3 months. So you've got to have time to kind of understand it, what games they want to create immersively using everything that will utilize that controller. Mm-hmm. And that's going to play a key role and a key factor in everything that's going to be moving forward. Now, as far as the release date of the headset and the controllers themselves, I agree with you because like we did hear that it's not coming in 2021. So a lot of us are thinking, oh, it's going to come in 2022. No, because they got to have time to get the games developed, because they haven't started really developing any games for it because they just announced officially that the headset's coming. So now these companies can start building these games for it. So you're right. We probably won't see it until 2023, but I'm thinking it'll be spring of 2023 before it's released. That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, as far as the price tag, now, given the fact that no price tag has been listed for the controllers or the headset for that matter. Now, as far as the controllers, I'm thinking at the very least, it's probably going to start lowballing this. I say probably around $100. Me personally, I'm thinking retail price $150.
Okay. So this is one thing that I've learned is that they won't do it as a bundle since it doesn't need the camera anymore. I think they're going to go in a direction, and the fact that they're not going to use the motion controllers. I think, and this is just what I think, in my professional opinion, I think those controllers will come standard with the headset. I don't think you could probably buy an extra one separately if you needed to, but the original two, oh yeah, they probably come with it. That's because there's such a different controller and that the motion controllers don't use it and they don't need a camera and they don't really need a whole bunch of wires and gimmicks and things like that. I think it's all going to be packed as one unit as opposed to buying the headset, then buying the motion controllers, then buying the camera and buying the games. It's not going to be like that. It's just going to give you the headset, the controllers, boom, you're set, good to go. Mm-hmm. So price-wise though, I would say I think they're gonna stick with what the current VR is, because here's how I see it: when the VR2 comes out, it's probably gonna be around between $350 and $400, depending on if you get a bundle. If you get a bundle, you're looking at about $450. But the headset and controllers themselves that's going to be bundled with it will probably be around the price of what you would have paid for the PlayStation 5 digital edition. So, and that's at the most. And then I can see if anybody doesn't want to jump into the PlayStation 5 round, but want to stick with PlayStation 4 and just get that VR headset, I bet you that one drops to as low as $150, $179 at the most. I think that's what that one's going to go down to. That's my prediction.
Yeah. As far as for the overall bundle, yeah, I'd say bundle wise, yeah. If they were to decide to go in the direction of just selling just the controllers separate and then the headset separate, I'm thinking the controllers would be at least probably 150 by themselves, with the headset following behind at about 200 or so.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, because I think like I said, I think it'll be standard. I think all of that will just be bundled as one.
Yeah.
You know, I think when you buy the headset, you automatically get the controllers just because they'll just be so different, and it's mainly for the PlayStation 5 and it's not going to be used for the PlayStation 4. But you know, I mean, it's all speculation at this point. We won't actually know for sure until it decides it wants to come out. So,
Yeah.
So either way, I'm excited for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And just the last thing, charging and battery life. I'm thinking at the very least, like the previous, I'm thinking it's the previous VR, I'm thinking at least 10 hours with us, at least, I'd say, I think it was around 4 to 5 hours if you use a charging station, but it takes about roughly close to 5 to 6 hours to charge it fully, and then 10 hours of playtime. I'm thinking at least, I'd stay at least within that realm as far as so that I'm thinking they push it to about maybe 12 to 15.
Okay, because I know the motion controllers can do anywhere between, depending on how much you use them. If you use it consistently, you're looking at probably 4 to 5 hours of battery life. I think this one goes no more than 8. That's what I think. I think these new motion controllers will go 8. I would not actually be surprised if they actually went lower, just because of the design and how it is. I could see them going lower. I might see it at the low end of, 3 to 5. So, I mean, it's all speculation at this point, but at most I say 8. At the least, I say about 3, maybe 4.
If they do make
I go 4 hours. I go 4 hours.
4 hours. Do you think it would? You think they would have wireless charging built into it?
Oh yeah. You want the way that thing? I mean, you could just look at the way that thing is set up. Yeah, I mean, and PlayStation is known for this anyway, of their controllers, and besides their media remotes, everything else is just plug and charge. So more than likely, that's what these are going to be too. And I think too that also helps save on costs of having to buy batteries. Because they had to put batteries in it, you'll be going through a crap ton of batteries. So I think they'll stick with the model that they've always stuck with, which is probably their best option, is just have it to be to whereas if you could just plug in and charge. So
good, sounds good. All right, well, that pretty much covers all that for the PlayStation VR controllers. So now let us move on and flip the script on to Xbox.
Yeah, and make sure you guys leave a comment below too on what you guys think of the controller and what your thoughts are on it, because we'd love to hear from you guys about what you think of it. Will you be getting a PlayStation VR 2 headset and controllers? So, that'll be awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely. Your opinions matter here.
That's right.
All right, so as far as for Xbox's new wireless headset, quite a lot of technology they built into this one. Quite a lot. And I'm really digging the features of this particular headset. I was talking to Desmond earlier about that, and it seemed like some of especially for the padding and the interior design of it, it kind of seems like they took a little bit of influence from headphones that are used for DJing. Because for those of you who don't know, my headphones are actually DJing headphones, and obviously it has a lot of thick padding that goes into that. So I think that there was a little bit of influence based on that as far as for the overall headpiece design and things of that nature. Desmond, what was your first initial impression when you saw the new Xbox headset?
I liked it. I actually thought it looked pretty good. I mean, it's kind of, to me, and I've said this off air with you, but it's kind of their counter to PlayStation's 3D audio headphones, or headset, I should say, that they use for their PlayStation 5. You know, with the heavy immersion as far as sound goes, you can actually get different sounds from the left and right channels on there. It's got a really long battery life, and I mean, just the overall design of it is you know, I mean, it's a pretty like basic headset design, but it's a nice, comfortable design. I think they've made it very, very comfortable to wear. Like you can wear it for like hours and it's not going to make it feel like you're going to have a headache afterwards.
Yeah, I agree. So let's jump right into this. So basically some of the pending features for this new headset: low latency, lossless audio with Xbox wireless radio for fewer pops and clicks and disconnects. Always a plus as far as that, especially
definitely
stuff.
a plus.
Oh my God. The next thing they have is support for spatial sound technologies, including Windows Sonic, Dolby Atmos, and also DTS headphones, or X, for realism and audio precision. This part I really liked. Just pretty much the spatial feature alone for the spatial sound. The fact that it really brings out all of those crisp sounds, especially those light sounds, the ones that you hear behind you on the side. I know they had some of the people from different departments of Xbox test out this headset controller, and they did it within an environment where there's a helicopter with the propellers. They had the raindrops coming down, and these guys, they could hear every little thing that was happening around them, as if they were physically right there. They could hear every single raindrop, and I thought that was really cool. That they really utilized a lot of attention to detail when it came to this. So I was really excited when I heard about that. Crystal clear chat with intelligent mic features that focus on speech audio versus surrounding sound. Just give you sub bullet points as far as for that. Voice isolation tuning helps the mic pick up your voice, not background ambience noise. Plus, they also have auto mute, automatically mutes your microphone when you aren't speaking. So you keep comm channels clear, and you can customize auto mute sensitivity or turn it off altogether. The on-ear manual mute button gives you privacy when you need it. This was an awesome feature.
Oh, yeah. I like that feature a lot.
Yeah, especially for many people, because let's face it, we already know there's a lot of people who are podcasters, people who are streaming on Twitch and things of that nature. You have people who do a lot of heavy online multiplayer games and things of that nature. And sometimes there's a lot of times where you really want to have a lot more control over the audio. Sometimes you don't want people hear you talking. There might be something going in the background that you feel might disrupt the flow of the game, especially when it comes to helping your teammates concentrate, especially if you're in a real clutch battle. The fact that you can mute out everything else, that's really cool. The fact that they place even more control at your fingertips and in convenient ways is super awesome. What do you think as far as for that?
I think that's freaking fantastic. The fact that, I like the fact that it's muted, but my only concern with that is, even though, yes, it'll auto mute your voice, but if somebody in the background comes up close and starts speaking, it's going to think the headset thinks that it's you, and then it'll start picking it up again. So I think that was probably the only concerning part of that for me. But I like how you can turn the dial to turn the volume on and off instead of trying to hunt for a button that's somewhere on one side. Oh, it's not on that side. Hold on, let me check this side. Let me check. Nope, I can't feel it. There it is. I don't have to do any of that stuff. I can just take it, turn it, and I'm good to go. I like the fact that the microphone part, you can fold it up into the headset, and it looks like it's like almost like it's covered by the headset. I think that's really cool. It keeps people from, like knocking it and breaking it and all kinds of stuff. So at least if it's tucked in, at least it'll help protect it better. The the fact that it can make use of the sounds from the left and right channels, so that way you could get the different sounds from each ear and combining it into one, giving you that nice surround sound type feel, I think is truly, truly remarkable. So I think Xbox really kind of outdid themselves with this one. I really like the functionality and the features and the immersion that they're going to bring with this headset.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Moving on to the next technology feature of this particular headset is the compatibility and connectivity. Now, as we all know, when it comes to anything wireless, the compatibility and the connectivity is oh so key. This is
yes.
absolutely crucial. So, Xbox being the type of company is, they had to get this right. So as far as for this, it pairs with multiple devices, play wirelessly across multiple devices, including Xbox Series X and S, or the Xbox One and Windows 10 PCs. And you can connect to your mobile devices via Bluetooth as well. So that is really super awesome. So they give you a lot of variety pretty much across the board. You can pretty much connect it to anything, any and everything. So they definitely gave it a lot of flexibility as far as for that, which obviously going forward, many different types of wireless devices are pretty much doing that nowadays. But as far as when it comes to console and things of that nature, they really allowed you to do it beyond the spectrum of just console. You can do it to be a PC and also for mobile devices. Some of the other stuff that they've also done here as well is they've also fine-tuned the audio and chat settings with the Xbox Accessories app. So including equalizer settings, bass boost, auto mute sensitivity, mic monitoring, and brightness of the screen as well. So you got a lot of different things going in as far as for that, which is also excellent. And you can change the brightness of the mic indicator light as well. So that's super cool. That is really super cool.
And I like the fact that, they're giving you, an app equalizer, especially when because sometimes I like some good bass. So, sometimes with so much bass, those headsets and even regular headphones can only stand so much of it before it starts, rumbling so much that, the wire starts shaking loose. But I think the fact that they're implementing that into this headset really shows that this product will last you a long time, even with the bass turned all the way up. Another thing that I like that you pointed out is the fact that you can not only use this on the Series S and X, but you can also use it for Windows on your PC, which is also a really, really nice feature. So if you have, like, let's say you're just on a regular PC or even on your Microsoft Surface, it should be compatible with that as well. Because it utilizes the Windows applications that's on there. So Microsoft really is like sticking with everything that can be compatible with the console and the PC together, making it easier. In fact, I think if you have like Game Pass, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if there was a way on Game Pass where you're playing your games on your phone and then using the Bluetooth controller and then using the Bluetooth headset with that as well. So it would not surprise me if that'll be something that they adapt into it later if they haven't already done that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Nailed it all on the head there, sir. And also one of the last features as far as the compatibility and connectivity is wireless updates on your console will deliver the latest features for a premium audio experience that continues to evolve. So any downloads, updates that goes to your console will automatically send all that information to your headset. So you never have to worry about having to do a direct plug and play with the headset and trying to do it that way. It'll do it all automatically. So that is a streamless from top to bottom. That is awesome. I know they also did a special Dolby Atmos for their headphones offer. I know there's a special offer with that as well because of the fact that they did partner with Dolby to offer a limited activation for Dolby Atmos for headphones on all Xbox wireless headsets until September 30th of 2021. So that's another thing too to talk about.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. And it's not a bad price either, man. It's a good price. As a matter of fact, I think it's the same price as the 3D audio headphones that the PlayStation 5 is offering, because I believe it's like what, like $100?
Yep.
So that is not a bad price to get all those features into that headset. So if you're an Xbox user, this is the time to get excited, because this headset, especially with a lot of the future titles that's coming out, is going to be really, really cool. So, and hopefully eventually I get an Xbox Series X so I can make use of it, because I would get these headphones, especially now that for those of you that don't quite know yet, that that it is officially sealed and delivered that Bethesda is now with Microsoft. We knew they were already with them, but there was a bunch of like paperwork and stuff they had to get done. But they made it official. They've got like a video thing about it, and they talked about some of the games and stuff that's going over to Game Pass and all that. But just to utilize something like, let's say, Starfield or the new Frozen game, or even like Elder Scrolls, to do Elder Scrolls, that's going to utilize that 3D headset or that audio headset by Xbox, is really going to help with the immersion and the different sounds that you can get. It'll just create that atmospheric feel by just the sound of it coming to your ears, sending those signals to the brain and making you think like you're there, even though you're really not. But it really will help enhance the gaming experience with your Xbox gaming console or PC.
Absolutely. Yep. And that's actually one thing that I don't know why it didn't cross my mind, but I'm glad you had mentioned that. Yeah, absolutely. Their games going forward is definitely going to be, they're going to utilize some real cool audio to pretty much play benefit to the features of that new wireless headset. And last but certainly not least, as far as that headset, is comfortable and intuitive design. Outstanding design with high quality materials and finishes, featuring a durable frame with inner metal headband, rubberized dial rings for grip, and a fully adjustable mic you can tuck under and out of the way. That's also so cool. It's going to be lightweight and comfortable at just 11 ounces or 312 grams for those of you who are into that. With large ear cups and a thick headband cushion made of ultra soft polyurethane leather designed to fit a wide range ear and head sizes. It's also ease of use and intuitive design with ear cup dials for volume and game/chat balance, and on-ear controls for power, mute, and pairing. Up to 15 hours of battery life with the internal lithium-ion battery, fully charges in 3 hours. But even 30 minutes of charging will get you back into the game in a flash with up to 4 hours of battery life.
That's pretty awesome. That's a nice, fast charging battery.
Yeah.
No, I like the fact that it's very lightweight, yet it's got quality all over it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a true testament to what the designers and the developers came up with when they were designing these headphones. They didn't want it to make it too heavy, so they want to make it very well balanced. They want to make it light and flexible, so that way, if you're playing for hours and hours on end, it won't feel heavy on your head. And again, it'll keep it from making your head explode, because it's like pushing in on your head and it's making you have a headache. Because I know sometimes my headsets will do that after a while because it's pushing up against my head. So that's really cool. I really like everything that Xbox is doing with this headset. Does it have its flaws? Of course it does. But I think with the pros, there's way less cons. So for $100, honestly, you can't really beat that. It sounds like a great deal. If I was an Xbox owner, I would totally get these.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that with the quality that's being put into this particular headset, I do like the fact that the main head frame is actually flexible.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that also adds to the comfort as well, because usually a lot of them, they're usually pretty solid when it comes to that, especially when you think about high quality ones. Obviously, this one's used for much different means, but sometimes it also adds to the amount of pressures because of the way the main bridge is actually made.
Mm-hmm.
So they definitely took a lot of different things in mind when it came to that. So Xbox really did their homework when it comes to this. I'm not sure if they've also seen the uh, the type of reviews and stuff that they've seen from other competitors. Like I think Turtle Beach is one, those kinds of things where they make really good headsets, very comfortable. Some chances are they probably some of their research team probably came across that
Mm-hmm.
aspect. So it could be a lot of different things they could have gathered their information from, not just simply from their main fan base, but they definitely hit a home run as far as for this. The design is a bit on the plain side, but as you know, a lot of people they like that futuristic kind of look. They want something that just pops, that just stands out. This one they just kept it sleek, they kept it simple, kept it conservative.
And really that's all you need. It doesn't have to look like super flashy as long as it does the job that you intend it to do in the way that you wanted it to do it in. So, but you guys let us know what you think about this headset. What do you think of the Xbox headset for the Xbox consoles and PC? Are you going to pick one of these things up? $100, can't go wrong with it. Or are you just going to wait till, I'll wait a little bit, or or you'll be like me and not have an Xbox and not be able to get it all right now. So, but yeah, you guys let us know in the comment section below and tell us your thoughts on that. Okay, our final story of the night. Yes, sir. Life is Strange, True Colors. DeMar.
Oh my goodness. For those of you who don't know by now, I think I actually mentioned this before when we were talking about when we were going through the different categories of the Game Awards. When we mentioned some of the nominees, and I am a huge fan of the Life is Strange series. Okay, huge fan. The first one, absolutely excellent. Second one, second one's decent, but this third one, this third one really looks to be very, very intriguing. Now, for those of you who, just to give a little bit of a backstory, the first Life is Strange was released back in January of 2015. Okay, and then all of a sudden, come September 2018 is when Life is Strange 2 came out, and then here we are, which the release date for this newest one, True Colors, is going to be released September of this year. So it seems like pretty much they're releasing a new Life is Strange title every 3 years, it seems, which I think is pretty decent. It gives them a chance to really gather a good storyline. As far as for the first Life is Strange, it revolved around Max and Chloe, in which case Max has the ability to rewind and manipulate time. So they had to go through and unlock the mysteries of Arcadia Bay and just going through all these different motions. Each of these games are episodic. This one was 5 episodes. It was really cool. The thing I really liked about it too, that all of them I'm sure follow the same flow, is the fact that every decision you make will trigger a different event later on. So you really have to be careful with what you choose and how you go about doing it. Definitely with the first Life is Strange, I'm definitely going to have to go back and change a few things because there's certain things that happened that I tried not to allow, but it did. But it's definitely a fun game. I think everybody should definitely check it out. As far as for Life is Strange 2, revolved around 2 brothers, Sean and Daniel. In which case, Daniel, being the younger brother, I believe he's 9 years old. His older brother was 16, and he has the ability of telekinesis. Now, for them, they're pretty much on the run from police after their father gets killed, and there's this huge accident that ends up happening, and so they end up fleeing, and they go through all these different scenarios, coming across these different kinds of people, and there's just so many different plot twists that ends up happening during their I can't really say adventure because it's not like they planned on traversing out and doing this stuff. It's kind of a last minute thing, heat of the moment kind of thing. But Yeah, that one definitely interesting. I haven't finished that one yet, but that one's definitely a interesting play. And obviously, with True Colors, this one revolves around Alex, in which case she has the ability of empathy, which she can not only absorb, but she can also manipulate the emotions of others. Now, taking into consideration that these emotions that she absorbs can also affect her as well, so she has to be careful with how she uses it and to what extent. Basically, for this particular installment, she's trying to solve the mystery of what happened to the murder of her brother. So this one's definitely going to be a lot of unfolding different tales as far as for that. I was super excited about it. Um, Deck Nine and Don't Not are always cool. I love the way they present the game. I'm not sure if they're gonna do extra episodes like they did with the first Life is Strange. How there was a Life is Strange Before the Storm, which revolves around Chloe and her meeting Rachel Ambers and things of that nature, which Rachel Ambers is also another significant part of the Life is Strange game in the first one installment.
Okay.
But this was definitely cool. Desmond, what are your thoughts as far as that after you saw the trailer?
The trailer was actually pretty interesting. I like the voice acting. I think the voice acting is really solid, for a game like that. It kind of has a unique take on what Quantic Dreams does, like with Heavy Rain or Beyond Two Souls or something like that, kind of like its own series. And I think in that nature, I could see the kind of almost like a choose your own adventure kind of deal with these characters. And I like the fact that, each character from each of the games, or I should say each of the series, has some type of ability that is utilized. So I'm almost wondering if the Life is Strange series revolves in like one world. Like it takes place in different areas around the world, like somebody in a different part of the world or something that has, or a different state or something like that has a unique ability, some type of supernatural type ability. So it almost makes me think of something like that. And I wonder if they'll ever do one where it's all kind of where they kind of, these characters cross paths. That would be really interesting.
That actually would. Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to checking this one out. I haven't played actually any of those games. I just haven't had the time. But I think now, after seeing True Colors, and I did see the trailer for the other two as well when they first came out. So, and I do own the first one. I got that one for free with my PlayStation Plus. So I'll have to go ahead and like kind of deep dive into those games and check them out and really be able to give a better take on what I think. But from the initial of what I see so far, looks like a pretty good game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely, like you said before, the acting is always super on point. I love the acting from all the people that take part in the production of the game. And I just really like the way there are so many twists and turns that happens. Like one scenario where you might decide, should you take this guy's money or should you leave it there? And if you take
Right.
the money, all of a sudden, like the next episode or two episodes down, the guy you took money from is all upset because he's like, yeah, I'm only in this rut because somehow, some way, the money that I had stored up disappeared, and I don't know what happened to it. And then you're like, oh. So it's kind of like one of those things where you're like, there's going to be some kind of backlash to a decision that you make, rather good or bad. There's going to be something that's going to happen that's going to trigger another event, and just continues on that way. And that's what I really love about the Life is Strange series. It's super fun, and it's actually real addictive once you really start getting into it. So I think a lot of people will definitely like it.
Yeah, but you guys let us know what you think about this game, Life is Strange True Colors. Have you seen the trailer yet? What are your thoughts on it? Go ahead and leave your comments down below and tell us your thoughts on that. And, tell us if you're looking forward to this game or not. So, Damar, anything else we want to throw in here before we go ahead and end this podcast? I think it was a pretty good podcast today.
Yeah, we're coming up on 55 minutes right now, almost an hour. Really good, really good. I've got really nothing else to add. Definitely hope you guys do decide to, check out any of those games in that series. Definitely leave us your feedback as far as concerning the VR controllers
Mhm.
or the Xbox headset. We definitely want to hear your thoughts on it. Are you looking forward to this stuff? Is it something you see yourself using? Definitely let us know.
So on that note, I have a couple of announcements that I want to go ahead and make. Number one, with the content that we try and put out for Platform Gamer Podcast, I know it's not really enough to kind of keep you guys satisfied because it seems like we're pumping one out every like 2 to 3 weeks, feels like for the most part. So I've been bouncing around some ideas, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start involving some gameplay footage of me playing, like I do on my personal channel that I have like just a whole bunch of gameplay live streams. And I think we'll probably start taking turns and putting out live streams to put more content out on this channel so you guys will have something from us. So whether it's a new game that we're playing and it's kind of a walkthrough or just something like that. And I would like to do a Q&A. I would love to do another I did one like kind of off the cuff and I didn't get anybody. So it was last minute though. So it wasn't like I was really going to get anybody. But I'm hoping to be able to do, I would like to do at least one night, like either a week or a month, one night a month maybe, to do a Q&A with people and just kind of sit down and just kind of just chill and ask questions about gaming, or we could talk about movies or music or anything like that, anything like that, I'm down for it. It's just us having a conversation, chilling, hanging out, so I think that would be pretty cool. Another thing that I wanted to throw out there is what I would like to do is once this COVID thing lets up, is that I like to do like a gaming tournament. And I would like Platform Gamer Podcast to host one. And then also get like special guests on here. So there's a lot of things that I really want to start working into it. It's just finding the time to do it. But I would love to get more special guests on here. I know we've had Ryan on here a couple times. I had our best friend Cedric on here one time, and then my daughter Grace was on here a couple of times. I'd love to bring those, recurring guests back and then bring in more guests. And then hopefully we can start speaking with developers and getting them onto the show and telling us about their game and things like that. So we're still a growing podcast. We don't have very many subscribers yet, but with your help, we could gain enough subscribers that they'll look at us and be like, yeah, we could give them a shot. But for right now, they're probably thinking we're just beyond. So it is what it is, but we'll keep pushing, we'll keep pressing, we'll keep doing what we can to get this content out for you guys. And, we've got a couple of game reviews that's coming up. I know there's some new demos of some new games that's coming out. Oh, while I'm thinking of it, speaking of game demos, if you haven't seen the thing about State of Play, our episode of State of Play yet, make sure you check that out. As far as I know, right now, you can still sign up for the Knockout City beta. So we'd love to get on there and get a squad going, and all of us go on there and play games together. And it's a citywide dodgeball game. It looks really cool. If you haven't checked it out, go into our State of Play episode, and the link is in the description below. You can click on that link to sign up, and it is a cross-play game. So make sure you guys try and hop on it, and we'd love to see you guys play with us on there. But that's all I got as far as that goes. But thank you guys. Definitely make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on that bell for all notifications, because we want to make sure you are notified of all things on this podcast. And then make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and make sure you are also liking our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is where we leave all of our information at. And you can reach us at Platform Gamer P1 on Twitter and Instagram, Platform Gamer Podcast on Facebook. You can listen to us, all all of our videos in audio form, all of our podcast episodes in audio form on Podbean and Spotify. Just make sure you go into the search engine, type in Platform Gamer Podcast, and we should pop up right there for you. And all of our audio episodes will be there at your disposal to listen to. Anyways, Damar, is there anything else for you? Or are we good to go?
Good to go, sir. Yes.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on Platform Gamer Podcast. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a good night.